In recent years, the term calm has become more mainstream. You see that term thrown around a lot, and yet most people still don't know what it even means. Calm is short for community, but community is a pretty vague term, and it's not referring to any specific community, but rather communities as a whole, specifically the more niche and underground ones. It used to be mostly be used to refer to people who did illegal or shady activities, such as sim swapping, frauding, doxing, extorting, bricking, or swatting. If you did or were around people who did stuff like that, you were calm. These days, it doesn't really mean that anymore. Most people who are calm are LARPers, who are people who pretend to be cyber criminals. Calm people originate from several different communities, but the most common ones are ironically children games like Minecraft or Roblox. It starts with buying OG stuff, such as unique Minecraft usernames, and with Roblox, it starts with e-dating and scamming. Since kids now grow up online, with their parents handing them iPads and smartphones at the age of 5, it's no wonder so many kids now become calm. Being terminally online used to be associated with more socially awkward losers, but now so many people live their lives on the internet in some way. Whether it's scrolling TikTok or Instagram Reels for 10 hours a day, playing video games and being on Discord all day in a call, or watching Twitch streams all day, none of that makes someone calm. Someone can be terminally online or doom scrolling, but it doesn't mean they're calm. Calm is a different type of terminally online person. It's someone associated with the darker, more radical side of the internet. People who are calm are usually obsessed with SoundCloud music and sometimes make their own music, no matter how awful it sounds. They avoid listening to mainstream music or anyone who's famous because they want to be unique and different and only listen to people with less than 10 followers. The most common insult calm people use is saying, "You're harmless," which is always thrown around after calm people start threatening each other with empty threats. People assume that if you're calm, you have to be part of a group, but that's not true. The term is confusing, which is the reason mainstream media has no clue how to define calm. They assume calm means some emo, satanic, occult-like group, but the truth is, calm has nothing to do with Satanism. At least not traditional Satanism, where you're worshipping the devil. It's closer to Levian Satanism. Most boomers have no idea what calm is. To them, every young person who uses the internet all day is the same. This is why, when certain tragic events happen in real life, they have no explanation for it. If someone does a school pew-pew or a church pew-pew, they blame the incident on some political reason. If they're conservative, they blame liberals. If they're liberal, they blame conservatives. The real reason is usually not political views. It involves a certain hedonistic nihilism that is always found in calm groups like 764 or No Lives Matter. They don't have morals or ethics. They don't care about politics, and they're usually very selfish and narcissists. They're always edgy to the max. They make jokes about literally anything, ranging from 9/11 jokes to whatever. Nothing is off the table for them. They don't care about how others feel, and they would gladly step on their own mother's corpse if it meant a moment of dopamine. They'll commit crimes in real life just to brag about it to their Discord or Telegram friends. They'll harm their pets or animals and laugh about it. This is what someone who goes deep down in the calm rabbit hole becomes. Just from playing Minecraft or Roblox at a young age, they'll end up committing federal crimes, ruining people's lives, and not feeling an ounce of remorse or guilt. Some people might be surprised to learn that the majority of calm people are teenagers. Most people who are now in their 20s or 30s and who used to be considered calm have outgrown it and moved on. The new generation of calm is arguably worse than the last one. The last generation was mostly profit-focused. They were selfish and didn't mind scamming old people out of their retirement savings, but at least there was an actual motive that made sense. Scamming or extorting people? For money. Sim swapping or frauding? For money, obviously. Doxing or swatting people? Well, usually there was some reason behind it, no matter how petty. It could be as petty as their e-date leaving or cheating on them. Now calm people are more into chaos and spreading misery rather than being money focused. Calm people will manipulate someone into either poking themselves, unaliving themselves, or causing a mass tragedy. There's no real benefit to doing this. They just find it funny. They enjoy the power and control, especially when it comes at the suffering of others. It makes them feel important, like they actually matter. Some of them do care about money, but instead of SIM swapping, now they're Coinbase scammers. Crypto is a lot more mainstream now, but most boomers and normies who own crypto still don't have a clue what Bitcoin or the blockchain actually is or how it works. So they're easy targets to social engineer and steal all their funds. That's really what most frauding is nowadays. Without an insider, most of them just LARP as Coinbase tech support and drain victims' wallets. They'll have burner phones, use VPNs, be behind 7 proxies, and think they're invincible and impossible to track. They care a lot about having good OPSEC because they don't want to get caught and go to jail for stealing grandpa's crypto funds. If they end up stealing over 7 figures, it's almost a guarantee they'll get caught sooner or later, especially in the United States. If you think most people who own crypto aren't dumb enough to fall for some teenager pretending to be Coinbase tech support, then I have a bridge to sell you. Crypto owners are some of the dumbest people imaginable. Just look at Pump Fund or Polymarket and see how many morons gamble their life savings. So now let's talk about comm girls. They also come from Roblox or Minecraft, but they're usually not interested in LARPing as tech support, or pretending to be rich, or being in comm groups. Comm girls are usually into stuff like SH or ED, and of course, age play. They'll own 1,000 plushies. Their rooms will be extremely pink and colorful, with Hello Kitty stuff, anime figures, anime posters, and so on. They're obsessed with Lolita fashion and owning thigh highs with kitten gloves and whiskers. If you're wondering how that makes them different from e-girls, well, we all know girls love attention and validation. That's basically all they care about. Comm girls just take a different approach. Instead of thirst trapping, they'll say and post the most offensive and shocking things they can think of. They'll say racist words, including the hard R, and a lot of them cosplay as the 4-letter anti-Semitic slur. They'll LARP as nationalists or groupers, but none of them actually believe or care about any of that. It's just for attention and shock value. Comm girls have learned that there are a lot of simps who love edgy racist girls with based views, but it's never real or genuine. Comm girls will try to one-up each other and be more edgy than the others. A lot of them will openly date PDFs, and that's even something they get off on. It gets to a point where people just assume some comm girls are glowies who are fed posting because it's that on the nose. Comm girls are notorious e-daters and are usually dating multiple guys at the same time, accepting money and gifts and saying, "Thank you, daddy," to each of them. Comm girls are really good manipulators and gaslighters. Even when they're cheating on you, they'll still spam you with messages and threaten to unalive themselves if you take too long to respond. They're usually very BPD, so expect constant accusations and mood swings. These are the same girls who on their profile or status will have "I love my boyfriend," which is as insecure as it gets. Comm girls dating comm boys is a recipe for disaster. It almost ends horribly, with them blocking each other, leaking each other's DMs and nudes, and sometimes going further than that. No normal girl uses Telegram, so if you find one that does, avoid her like the plague. Comm girls are always insane, and you'd rather date a normie girl obsessed with Labubu's than date a comm girl. Trust me. You can tell when someone is comm or comm adjacent just by how they act or portray themselves. Comm people have this unique, edgy, narcissistic vibe to them. They always think they're way smarter than everyone else. They're often pretentious and distrusting of people, assuming everyone is out to get them. They act as if they have so many ops, but really, no one cares about them, and they're not that important. If their Telegram username is some gay anonymous name like user52843, just block them. Not all comm people are sociopaths. Some of them can be decent, and a lot of them reform when they get older and realize how cringe they used to act. Being an edgelord and cybercriminal online seems cool when you're young, but when you get older, you realize how lame it actually is. If they're in their 20s or 30s and still act like that, they're probably a lost cause. Comm people have a void in their hearts because most of them are atheists and think life is meaningless. Instead of being vile and hateful, embrace Jesus as your Lord and Savior and follow him to be truly fulfilled. You'll never be happy without God.